So Dana, you made it through season 1.
I made it, guys. I made it through Explore Vegan ATX. I did.
How did you feel about it?
You know, okay, is a couple of different things. I wrote that blog piece about what I learned. You can find that on dana-does.com. But I shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
But what I learned was, I got to explore more of the city. So I think that was really cool. And just to see, like, the food truck culture here in Austin and the food truck game
It's intense,
culture
right?
is really strong. And coming from places like LA, you think you know it, but here, I mean, I just love that there's dedicated food parks. On top of that, the dedicated food parks that are just vegan.
That was incredible. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah,
So that was a great little find, and there's just so many different options. Like for me, you know, I kind of get used to, you know, we all get used to our own little comfort, and to see that there's just so many options with like ice cream, pizza, soul food. I love Tex-Mex, so having those options is always really, really nice to have.
Yeah, and then on double on top of that, so we did go to a few like brick and mortar places, and
You loved Citizen Burger.
I knew I was gonna say that right now. That burger,
read your mind.
man, I freaking love it. Like, I felt really inspired by all these people who are like, you know, we just had this idea, we started our kitchen, or I decided to leave my regular life and then start doing this. And I love stories like that, being a person who adores food, but also being from a family that owned a restaurant. But then for them to grow into this thing, and then for just the amount of really good food that they're putting out is really awesome. And so, yeah, just that Citizen Burger was probably one of my
favorites.
One of my favorites. What's one of your favorites?
Gosh, I loved a lot of them. I really liked Nisi Vegemite.
He loved those flautas.
Flautas were good. I've never had a flauta, and I mean, you already had me at Mexican, but when you add a fried element to it, and those sauces he makes in his food truck, they were just so good. I thought that was really, really tasty.
So for you as a vegan, I mean, I felt like you actually got to try a lot of foods you've never tried, because I felt like every episode you're like, I've never had this, I've never had this, I've never had this.
Well, there's like so many meat type substitutes, and I guess like I always was kind of averse to them, but people are just, I think that just like technology and just like people are so creative nowadays, and they're really finding interesting ways to sort of, you know, retool seitan or, you know, tempeh or things like that aren't as processed. So it kind of, you know, you feel a little bit better about it, I would say, than what we've had in the past with like, you know, processed meat or whatnot.
Right. And I found that because obviously I've bought the processed meat substitutes at grocery stores, but but sometimes I'm kind of afraid, like, there's a lot of processing going on with this. And I think sometimes for a non-vegan, if you are thinking about going plant-based or vegan, then you are worried about all those questions. How do you get your protein? Things like that. But and you only feel like there's just processed things to replace it with. But I found like a lot of these places are making their own meat substitutes, and they're not all processed, and they're from fresh ingredients, and I think that's really cool.
And that does make it a lot healthier, and it is there's just good ways of mimicking it. And so from a non-vegan perspective, I mean, was there any ones that kind of surprised you where you were like, wow, that is actually pretty close to what meat tastes like? Is there any of those?
I will say at Nisi, we had one of those the tacos, and that really surprised me. And then now I'm running through everything. I will say some of that ice cream was
delicious.
So delicious
and creamy, dolce baccio,
crazy. And then of course
sweet ritual.
And of course, like, I'm an avid home baker. I'm an amateur baker, and I hope to get better at my craft. But just when they like are baking vegan, like at Fat Cats, and like stuffing, like my mind was blown. I kept talking about it with them because I was like, I know how hard baking can be, or finicky. And just
taking out the egg, or
taking
butter.
out all these things, and then now you're doing this, and it's still perfect, and you know, fulfilling. But consequently, through this past few months, I mean, he gets to try some things, but I've been baking more.
And you've been adopting Meatless Mondays, which is awesome.
Yes, I have Meatless Mondays now that I adopted I was like, in between season 1 and season 2 as we're filming, I will do Meatless Mondays for you guys. So I'm exploring more. I got more. I got a food delivery service I'm trying out that's really helping Daily Harvest. And now, and I'm doing a lot of plant-based recipes that way. I still eat a lot of cheese, but not as much as I was.
Well, speaking of cheese, a little bit about season 2.
Yes.
One of our first episodes is on Rebel Cheese, which is Austin and the world's one of their first wine and cheese shops, right?
Very first vegan wine and cheese shop. And let me tell you guys, you will not be disappointed. Like, I have friends who are coming to visit in Austin and they are not vegan. I was like, I need to take you to this place.
It's pretty good.
So they're amazing. And we have more baked goods coming up.
A lot of gluten-free stuff that doesn't
dairy-free,
and
soy-free,
allergen-free.
Allergen-free. And it, again, blows my mind for the baking. So we're really excited to be bringing all of that to you. Not just cheese, but you got some pies from Pie Jack, got some bakes from Zucchini Kill.
And we're also going to a food truck that's not just vegan, but it has a ton of vegan options. So what I'm really impressed with that is just because it's not a vegan food truck, they still offer vegan options. So I feel like this movement is moving towards mainstream. It's becoming a bigger thing where even regular restaurants will have a vegan option, which is so nice because I would go places and there's not, anything but a little dinky salad on their menu, which sucks.
Salad for one.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good that it's kind of being incorporated into non-vegan restaurants, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and we're collaborating with different people. You can find at ATX Broke Girls on Instagram. We'll be going around Austin looking for the best pocket-friendly vegan eats we can find and doing that exploring with her. I want to say thank you so much for coming on this journey with us and for letting a vegan and a non-vegan explore some vegan food. And hopefully you guys learned some things too. Again, if you have any recommendations of where we should go, let us know.
Yeah.
And even if they're nearby, tell us where to go in Houston.
Yeah,
Dallas,
absolutely. We'll make
San
a road trip out of it.
I know, I'll make him drive. But yeah, we're so thankful. And here's to eating more, exploring more.
Yeah, and season 2 is coming your way very soon. And yeah, let's just keep having fun and eating a lot of good vegan food that's out there.
I'm Dana.
I'm Mihal.
And this is Explore Vegan ATX.